welcome back to the F1 Money Game podcast. We're here with myself, Call Footy, aka Dolcito from Discord, and our other host, F1 Capper, and we're gonna be reviewing the Hungarian Grand Prix, how our bets went, how we like the race. We're gonna give our little ratings of who are the winners and losers. But first of all, how are you, Cap?
Doing good, man. Back-to-back races before we got 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So trying to soak it in before we get a little break. So I can't believe we're already in August. So crazy.
We're halfway through the season now with this next race. That'll be the 12th race or the 13th. Actually, we're already halfway through, but with
We still got a lot.
Yeah, we still got a lot. Yeah,
Still got more to go.
And I think that you mentioned it in the Discord that I'm ready for this break, and I have a couple of trips set up, and it'd be nice to get away.
I hate to say it. I could use a little. I mean, well, it's going to be a break from F1. We'll still have some IndyCar, but IndyCar finishes in September. So, but it would be nice to kind of like just break away a little bit. I've been doing a lot of data mining throughout these weekends, and it does get tiring for sure.
Oh, I know, and that's the one thing I'm actually gonna be. I just want to mention that this week it's gonna be very tight because I'm gonna be actually going to Canada and I will not be in the country. So as far as bets comes, sorry guys, you can't fade me this week because I probably won't be able to bet much. So my streak continues on the pod with giving losers. So if you want to win, go with the opposite. Like I mentioned it, Yuki, we could talk about that later. But overall, I had a pretty good weekend in the Discord. Outside of the pot pig, I got 9-1, actually 8-1. I'm not gonna count the one because I forgot to share the slip, and the race is already 8 minutes in. I was like, I'm not gonna count. I'm gonna share it, but I'm not gonna count on my record. So 8-1 on my record in the Discord. Only loser was Alpine. Ocon, top 12. We could talk about that later, but overall, I have to say that I'm starting to enjoy the qualifiers more than the actual races. But us as betting people, we enjoy races too because we have money on the race. So we're watching these 12 versus 13 battles, and we're like, come on, let's go, push. And actually, I had Yuki to beat Logan, and I was like, I'm about to shut this with 5 laps left. And then I saw it, and I was like, yes, he did it.
There was a lot of sweating actually happening for sure. I was sweating hard at the end when I'm like, oh my God, Perez is going to catch Norris, isn't he? And it was really making me sweat. But then I kind of eased up because I was like, he's unused. Norris is on new. I think he's going to run him out pretty fast. And yeah, I was getting and then, like, in the back, you're right. Everyone was sweating the whole AlphaTauri and Williams. It's funny because we were talking about the Williams. I think I saw there was, like, 2 different lines happening last weekend, which it was Rick versus Albon.
Yeah.
And I just was like, he was losing to Albon, right? Until I think maybe actually he lost. I can't remember actually.
Yeah.
But anyways, we were talking about it, and I was like, you can get him at plus odds, and we were like, should we do it? And I was looking up. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna even stay away. I'm staying away.
I don't blame you. No, it's that's why I'd have to say that I did enjoy the race overall. Not because I won money on it. I'm just saying, like, it was a pretty back and forth race. It was a lot of fun. And the next best thing was the community bet. We're back on the winning streak. I don't know if Jinxie gave this pick, or I'm not sure who, or was it Jens in the Discord. But we're back in winning streaks. We're 8-3 on the season, and this time Max Verstappen to lead after 10 laps was the bet. It was at 220 odds or plus 120. So we're back 22-6. We won.
I think Jinx actually laddered it. He did
10, 5,
after
1.
first lap, 5 lap, 10 lap, or something like that. I think he did all of them.
Nice.
So that was a great call.
Nice.
Yeah. But look at the trend. Stay away from Ferrari.
Oh.
We got to stay. And Stroll. and Stroll.
That's
You
true.
bet
Yeah.
you gotta have the sure ones, right? Like those are the two. Well, and then Alpine too, but yeah.
And I know that we talked about this, and you know, if you're watching this on YouTube, you will see that that you know, some of the odds on there are like very high, and we talked to a couple people in the Discord. We're gonna start to limit to see where you know, where the odds are gonna be limited at. So that's
Mm.
something that I'm, you know, that we're gonna have to, you know, see where we're gonna limit it. Like we're gonna have a cap, like it'll be plus 200 or plus 300, because nobody's gonna vote on something that is like out, you know, like plus 3,000, you know. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like it, I don't mind it. I just yeah, but I do kind of like the as these are being posted, there's legit plays. These are not like I'm just goofing off. Like this Discord channel has people that know how to bet.
a hundred
And for
percent,
and I but very rarely will we see that, but as we've been seeing new incomers and whatnot, yeah, like it'd be nice if we could stay away from those because sometimes I look down that list, I'm like, man, these are all good bets. Maybe most of the time we've already bet them.
of
So
course,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
and but yeah, but the most important thing is we're back on. We're winning. We're still 8-3, 22-6 on the season. If you're not on the Discord, you could find the link in the description. Get in there, and you know, soon we're gonna be starting to talk about NFL. NFL
mm,
betting.
training camp
Yep, training
kicking
camp
off.
started, so we're excited. And with that said, I think that we should start talking about, you know, some of the winners this week, and I think that we already know who that is, and that, you know, like we can't. It's Max.
Yeah.
He's amazing, dude. I mean, I hate to say it, he's amazing, and he you know, he's won 9 out of 11 races, and he
Hmm.
won by 33 seconds. You know, he overtook Hamilton in the first turn or the second turn, and there was no way of stopping him. The guy is gonna break. He might break every record this year. I think that he needs. I have to look at my notes. I think that they just broke the 12th consecutive record for the constructor, right?
Yep.
So
They did.
so
Hmm.
and Max is. I mean, even Paris, he you know, he had a really good race starting from eighth or ninth. Mercedes have to wake up. They have to wake up if they want to catch to these guys, because Max is driving really well. There's no way somebody can stop him unless it's a Mercedes. We already saw the hype of the Austin Martins earlier in the year. Mercedes, whatever you're doing, wake up, because nobody can
Hey,
stop Max. And I know the
hey,
Mercedes boys are gonna
you
hate
know,
me.
McLaren has entered the chat. I think they got other problems right now, which is their McLaren, who actually has a Mercedes engine,
Yeah,
is beating them right now.
yeah,
I
no,
mean,
and
I mean, it's pretty. It's actually pretty. I kind of gotta say, it's pretty awesome seeing. Well, first it was Aston Martin. Everyone was like, "Wow, look at they're doing really well." Mercedes behind them. We're halfway through the season. You had a little glimpse of hope, and then all of a sudden McLaren is like, "Hold my beer," and they they are the second best team right
yeah,
now. So
no,
Mercedes has, yeah, they need it. They need to get it together, and
they need to.
they got some other problems too. This past weekend, I noticed is they were
Yeah,
struggling with I think it was the medium tires, which is kind of
yep.
wild. But yeah,
But yeah, so
high fuel
Max,
load.
Max to me, of course,
Oh yeah,
another winner. He's gonna
Max.
be on this list every week, I think. But
And we some of the indie boys we realized, hey, we can parlay this thing because this was the weekend where you knew Max was going to win, and in an Indy car it was Joseph Newgarden who's like dominant in Iowa. So a few of the guys pointed out like, yeah, we could just parlay both of them to win, and it'll be 3-1, sweat free, both of them,
yeah, yeah,
sweat free.
I didn't see guys much of what you guys were
It's like
talking about.
it's
Yeah,
like the only time you probably would want to do that with IndyCar
yeah,
because you just knew it was his to lose, right? And the same with Max. But Max,
yeah.
yeah, he's in Red Bull. They're just doing an incredible job, man. I
They
mean,
are,
they've
they are.
done an incredible job, I should say, and they're going to continue. So
Yeah, and you know, we're talking about Red Bull here. I think they're also the biggest winners this weekend with setting another
Totally.
record. Like winning 11 out of 11 races this year is an amazing accomplishment. They just seem like they're just unstoppable, and it's kind of scary. Like if you're a casual fan, it might get boring. Like that we see it on social media. Up, yeah, we already know Max is gonna win the Red Bull, but they're just so good. And I think I looked at I think that they have been on the podium in 17 occasions out of 22 this year. So
Yeah.
that's amazing, and I just can't see them slowing down. And to be winning by 33 seconds almost every other race, it's insane.
I mean, the only thing I will say is, you know, they basically lock it in for both championships. They stop doing any development. You, again, I mean, Interlagos is one of those tracks that might favor one of the
Yeah.
Aston Martins, the Mercedes, especially, or maybe even McLaren. Who knows? Um,
Can they
but
win
for
20
now,
races this year to beat the record? Because I know the record is
that's the
19.
question I have. Is like, to me though? I feel like Horner wants to make a statement. He wants to just say,
Look at
fuck
us.
everyone. I'm gonna win every damn race. I got the best. And Max will be like, yeah, of course, let's go win every damn race we
Yeah.
want, right? He's not gonna argue that.
Oh,
And
100%.
and Perez will just, be in the corner. We'll just say, just don't wreck the car.
I did look at the points, and I did was looking at if the rest of the year, if Red Bulls do not record a single point, the second closest team is Mercedes in the standings. They have to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
at least fourth or fifth every single race and get the fastest lap to be able to beat the Red Bulls. That means the Red Bull can do absolutely nothing the rest of the year. So that can tell you the
That's right. Yeah,
dominance. That's and then like you mentioned, the next thing is Lando Norris. Lando
yeah.
Norris. What a ever since the updates, Lando has been amazing. I'm looking at my notes here. He's back to back podiums. He drove really well, and unfortunately for him, he's gonna lose about 60K to pay for the trophy that he broke at the end. I don't know
Oh,
if you
that was
saw that.
hilarious. Yeah, I did, and I didn't realize it was like a full blown porcelain. Just it takes what I don't know. They said 6 months to
6 months
make or
to
something.
make it, yeah. And Christian Horner said that I fully expect Lando to pay for it, like to
Troll
make a new one.
level 1000. I love it.
Uh, but then like I'm looking at Lando in the standings in the last two races. The McLarens have gained so much, and he's only 20 points behind Leclerc, who
Yeah.
the big Ferrari boys. Again, I don't want to like get in trouble for saying anything, but since the upgrades, with the new floor, with the side pods, McLaren has been outstanding. Even Oscar Piastri, he's not on the list here, but I just feel like Lando has been the better driver from the two, consistently, being the top five in qualifying and in practices. Just very well car, very well, a great driver. So I think he's a winner here.
Yeah, no, I mean, with two straight races, second place.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty incredible. And remember, like at the beginning of the season, everyone was like, "Jesus!" I mean, even at me at one point, I was like, "You're kidding me? What is going on with it?" Like they really took a step back. But
Oh, it
yeah,
was
they
bad. It
they
was bad.
just they. I mean, hats off to Zach Brown, man. He you know stuck with it. I mean, he's also doing a great job in IndyCar too. So he's obviously knows what he's doing right now. Or maybe he cheated. I don't know. We keep seeing these rumors that someone, but yeah, no, they're doing absolutely incredible, and those upgrades are showing. It's actually just crazy how well the upgrades just they worked in two races, because now in the past two races, we've seen a high speed track
Yep.
and like one of the highest, and then we've seen one of the lowest, and they both Norris got second, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Piastri
He's
fourth.
back to back second place. Yeah.
It's pretty incredible, but that also shows you it is the car too, because both of them are Piastri and Norris are are close to each other both
Yeah,
times.
and
So,
PSG has been doing. I mean, I was a little,
oh yeah,
I was very, criticizing him earlier in the year, but man, he has been driving really well.
I
So
mean he's a rookie.
yeah, of course, yeah,
I mean
takes
he's
time.
definitely going to have those growing pains and whatnot, but he's really he's catching on fast, and he's seeming like he's molded into a pretty good driver right now. So, yeah, I'm happy to see that. It's definitely something we needed. Um, you know, I know you know that too with the McLaren Mercedes days and
Oh yeah,
everything. So there's still
Mika, yeah,
some alliance if you're a Merc fan to it.
yeah,
So seeing that team really come up, I personally have always liked Norris. I
yeah.
know some people have hated him. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see that he's actually seeing these results.
Yeah,
So
no, same. I'm happy for the team, and I know earlier in the year they were not expecting to do anything for this season, and they were gonna focus fully for 24. But seeing
no,
this now, they I
I
want to
think
say they're the
they
fourth best team right now.
I mean,
I
and,
wouldn't
and
even
we're
say
seeing it
third.
in the market. We're seeing it in the market too for
Yeah,
this week. Right now they have McLaren priced as a Ferrari at the beginning of the year, and last year they have them priced at the second best team.
yeah,
So I love this too because I love it and hate it. I will say I love it because as a fan, you're seeing now four teams trying to battle for second.
mm-hmm.
You wish it was for first. Maybe
Yeah,
we'll get there next year. Who knows? But hey, I'll
yeah,
take this for right now,
mm-hmm.
and then we'll see who's going to actually get it. And right now, McLaren seems they got the momentum, so we'll
Yeah,
see.
agreed. Let's move on to George. He's the next
Yep.
winner to me. I know I was reading up online and lots of people were really hating on George, and maybe because they call him the little diva or whatever, he cries all the time, whatever.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
you, I was looking at he finished in first in FP1, which FP1 was very bizarre. Like drivers not heading laps, weather, red flags. It was just a mess. But then, in FP2, they were testing their tires. They were, like it wasn't. I really couldn't get anything like the Mercedes were just trying out their tires, and then you
Yeah.
see qualifying was horrible, and he got stuck there. If you were looking at the like, I don't know if he watched the qualifier or not, but he
I did.
couldn't even
Yep.
get the speed to start the lap. He was already behind before he even started the lap.
You know what? I went,
There was
I
so much
went back and
traffic there.
rewatched. I was like, well, he let all those guys. I think it was like Botas was the last guy coming through, finishing his last hot lap. I wish he was just aggressive and went for it because he actually stopped, and that really killed him by because it was the first sector where he lost like what 5 tenths.
Yes, at
So
least.
if he just didn't do that, he would have totally been like pushing even Hamilton for all we know, for third place. I don't know, but it would have been a totally different story if he just wasn't a
I
pansy
agree.
at that
I
turn. I hate to say
agree.
it. No, but Russell for sure. There's another point in the race where I was like, I can't believe he didn't hit Perez. That was so close. I mean, that was very close. But yeah, FP1, he really he showed it. I mean, we even talked about it. That was one of the big hits I had for last week on last week's pod was um, 6-1 to FP3.
Yeah,
So or FP1 third place. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean he's he's pretty good.
I mean, look at the race.
There's times where he gets a little too aggressive.
Yeah,
But I think those are things
improve on.
he can correct. Yeah,
Yeah,
he'll correct those things.
exactly. And there was the other thing that the Mercedes, like you mentioned, they were struggling with the mediums, and
Yeah.
he went through the field. I mean, he finished in sixth, I think, Russ, right? Yeah. I
Well, that's
believe he
also a
was in
testament to the
sixth,
car. The
and
car was fine for them, and they've actually done much improvements as Mercedes has been upgrading their DRS efficiency. I think Formula Data Analysis finally posted an update on it. They said that it's drastically increased over these upgrades. So that's positive. That's really good for them, and they need that, especially
yeah.
with Spa coming up. So
Yeah, no, and that's I want to say this, that like looking at Russell and like I'm gonna be looking at him again during qualifier, because as we know, a couple years ago he was in a Williams. I know there was rain and everything, but I heard that our weather provider saying that there's gonna be rain
Yeah.
again. So
Yep.
maybe look for Russell in a better car than the Williams was. You never know. I mean, we saw
Never
Lewis
know.
this weekend.
They priced it. They priced the top three for Russell this week at like 3-1 when we had a gift for 6-1 last week. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But there's only one practice too, so who
Yeah,
knows?
true. Yeah, because we got that weird sprint
Sprint.
sprint weekend. Lovely, lovely. All right. Well, then, let's hit up the losers, and these are your boys, Alpine,
Ooh, yeah,
Alpine, and your
yeah.
big man. I'll let
The
you.
damn odds. Two races this year, both of them knock each other out. What are the odds of that? Although, okay, so Joe had a terrible start, was trying to make it up. I don't know what was, if it was a braking issue, if whatever it was.
Oh,
Ran
he's on
into
the
Danny
list.
Rick. Yeah, he ran into Danny and then hit Ocon, which went over. Yes, I get it. It was them, but this one was definitely just like, what unlucky crap Alpine just went through just in this one. However, could they have? I've always I've just kept watching that replay. And I was like, could he have avoided this or whatever? Gasly did try to go around, and
Yeah.
if he didn't do that, yeah, everything might have been fine. But you can't fault Gasly for not making an aggressive move turn one where he was
Yeah.
going on the outside. I mean, he was pretty open for it. So
Yeah.
it's just, that one was unlucky, man.
Yeah,
Unlucky
oh
on
yeah,
their
and
end.
I was looking at the stats. Of course now they're the sixth team on the grid. They're not in the top five anymore. Like
No,
they
no.
were our favorite bet for double points
I
every race.
stopped betting the top
Same.
10 after talk about selling right at the right time, because the minute I stopped betting their top 10, I think that was it. Like, they just have not been hitting him,
Yeah,
both the
and
top 10,
they
not
have
one
had
or the
7
other.
retirements this year, which is 32% of
Yeah.
races. Combined. Of course, and
Oh, they're
then
probably bleeding money.
and
Bleeding
they have
money.
gotten 1 point in the last 3 races,
Yeah.
which is unacceptable for a team like Alpine. That's
Totally.
how I see it, and I hope they improve so we could go back and start to bet them again. Like how
Hey,
we are.
guess what the common theme is? Deadpool buys them, and they suck even more.
Wasn't it Ryan Reynolds or who? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah,
Ryan
Deadpool.
Reynolds
Yeah,
buys them. I
Deadpool.
think it was the past three races. He after he or
Yes.
bought steak, I should say. I didn't buy them, but
Yeah, no,
bought
I know
steak
what.
into them, and this is the showing. So, hey, but you know what? Like I always say, this could be a buy low opportunity. You don't know.
You just
But
don't know. Don't
yes,
know.
right now they are the mid pack Ferraris.
Yeah, and well then, talking about the guy that caused this accident with the Alpine, what an amazing weekend for him until 3 p.m. local time on Sunday. Did he forget that he has a clutch? Did he? Whatever happened to him? Like he just horrible
Yeah.
race after his. I believe I saw that was his best qualifier in his career,
Yeah.
starting in fifth. Even Bottas, the Alphas were really good this weekend. I did bet Bottas over Joe and you for the race, and I won that one. But just an amazing how somebody can be great all weekend and then forgot how to to put it into gear and start a race.
Yeah, this Alpha man, like they've been terrible at the start. Joe
They
dropped
have-
off a lot. It looked like at some, I don't know if he didn't have the clutch in. Did he have anti-stall in? I don't know. Bad. It was just bad,
It was bad. Yeah.
plain bad.
Yeah.
And then to throw salt on the wound, he goes out and just sends it into Ricciardo into the Alpines and gets a 5-second penalty. Like
Yeah.
you can't have that.
Horrible race. Horrible
Mhm.
race. And the boys in red, I think they're losers to me. I know they finished into
We should just keep it there weekly.
They're there again. I mean, I think they're still fourth in the standings, right? I think so.
I think
after.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. But again, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11, like there's no consistencies. I did look at, Carlos was in FP1, he was 15th, which he didn't set a lap time, which I get that. But then he was 10th, 8th, 11th, 8th. Race, there was no pace. Like
No.
it wasn't like they got screwed up with a strategy or anything. It's just the Ferraris. I'm avoiding them like the plaque. They do, however, this season have fixed their reliability issues. Though they don't have many DNFs. Like actually, Charles doesn't have a DNF yet, which is kind of surprising for
Well,
you know.
no, he does. He has two DNFs, but no, I don't
Hold
think I
on,
don't.
did it?
But it's not. It's
Oh,
not
maybe it was
terminal.
classified. Maybe,
Yes. Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe, yeah.
So, but yeah, I. What can you say? And we've they just they either botched the strategy. You have Sainz and Leclerc that playing alpha mode and can't decide who they start racing against each other. Uh, Tire deck problems. All said and done, though, they're still. I was looking up the stat because there is a bet I'm eyeing for the week, which is making me queasy think about it. But they've only that's why I knew Charles Leclerc only had two DNFs early in the season, but they've been hitting the top 10.
They have,
But
yes.
that's not good enough, right?
No, not for a
You
team
should
like
be for
Ferrari. Yeah.
you were fighting for the championship. You were winning the championship at one point last year, and you just let it slip away. And now here you are. You had a car that can keep up in certain ways, yet you keep fucking around. And
Right.
not only that, all the other teams are catching. They've been up
They're
there.
passing
You're
you.
fighting them, and you can't even you you just you can't have that
Yeah,
as
and
a
I mean,
Ferrari team too,
yeah.
right?
No, I
You
agree.
can't.
And I know that with another race weekend coming up, you have to still like worry about the McLarens. They're right behind you. They're breathing in your neck, and you're about to get passed. And I'm not even like Austin Martins also have been on a downslope. I didn't put him on
Yeah, yeah.
here, but just I cannot trust the Ferraris. Don't put them in my parlays usually for my points because I don't know who's gonna DNF. Even though the trends are not showing them as a team that crashes or DNFs, but I just cannot trust them. I will stay
I
away.
I will tease one for our pod whenever I think we recording tomorrow. But yes, it does have to do with Ferrari. So if you want to ride this train, this sweat train with me, listen tomorrow or Thursday. I think
Yeah,
tomorrow or Thursday. But
yeah,
yes.
yeah. No, that's and that brings me to Belgium. It's one of the most iconic, like one of the top five
Oh
tracks on the
man,
map.
it's so
I
good.
I love to watch it because it's like a 20-minute lap. It feels like every time you go. I think honestly the
Let's go.
sprint's gonna be like 8 laps
I
because
don't understand why they're doing a sprint here.
it
Like
makes
this
no
is this,
sense.
this is not. I was so shocked too when I saw. I really was like, this is going to be a normal weekend, everything. Yet they're
Same.
doing a sprint at Spa, which makes zero sense to me.
Yeah, honestly, there's gonna be
Um,
what, like 11 laps, maybe 12 tops,
I have
because
no idea.
it's like
Yeah,
a minute and 40 seconds, 30
you know
seconds,
what?
whatever. I don't know. It's one of the
Yeah,
longest
what?
tracks, but
Yeah, yeah,
it
and
makes no
it gives
sense.
you everything.
Yeah.
It's definitely you got the long straights, you got
Yep.
the nice turns like in a Silverstone where they're high speed turns. You
Yep.
have a few chicanes, tight chicanes that are going to
You have a
be.
little bit of
Uh,
altitude too.
you get everything. You have everything,
Yeah.
and oh by the way, you're going to have the elements,
Yeah.
especially this weekend.
Yeah.
So, um, I love this track so much.
Yeah.
Uh, it's just one of my favorites.
Do you before we go on to Belgium, to go back to Belgium, do you have any who was like actually I'm gonna ask you, what was your thoughts on Daniel Ricciardo this weekend, with his first race back in over 7 months? What do you think of his performance?
Okay, so I wasn't paying full attention to what happened at the end with the AlphaTauris, where it's just got this big flip between Danny Rick and Yuki.
Hmm.
But initially, though, he kept it safe, right? Like he didn't try to do anything crazy, you could tell, and he was just driving the car to where he could. I think the car, whether it was Yuki or Danny, should have been in that 13th spot
Hmm.
regardless. But I think Danny was still getting used to. He hasn't been in a F1 car in a race in a long time, so I think he was playing it safe in the beginning for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I really have no true opinion. I think he did fine. I don't think he like was not embarrassing or anything. I think he did fine. He met the expectations, I will say.
Yeah.
But did he do anything spectacular? No. I mean, he didn't, and I didn't expect him to for first race back in a year. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I know the people have been discussing him all week last week,
yeah,
and I also betted and I lost, but like I mean I guess it's a better performance than the Re, but I
oh,
mean he
I
has
mean,
been.
yeah, it is, but it definitely lit someone else's ass on fire this weekend, and he got to third, after and
Oh
got
yeah,
through to
Sergio was
Q3
like, I'm not
finally.
giving my seat.
So, I mean, let's see. Um, I am very interested to see like one race, right? We haven't seen
Yeah,
shit. So
exactly.
let's get to this next one and let's see what happens. But
Yeah, and
you know, he better be beating the Haas in Alpha at minimum if he wants to prove that he deserves that Perez seat or whatever the hell is gonna happen next with
agreed.
him. So
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and talking about the next race, and I was looking at some
Mhm.
of the trends, and we have already started to talk about this in the Discord and potential grid penalties. I did see like last year, 8 drivers took grid penalties here, so something to keep an eye on. I know the news
Well,
have been
so
rolling
that
around.
is true. That is true. Although F1 Bet Tipster, I haven't been in the Discord that much today, but I did glance at one point, and he did call something out to say he doesn't know if you're going to see a lot, and the only reason why is because it's a sprint weekend. That has a different impact to
That's
the
actually true.
grid. So
Yeah,
it's no one knows at the end of the day, but yes,
yeah,
and typically we would say this is the weekend where you start seeing those penalties. And if you get into Discord and the stats and news, we'll be posting typically the updated like power unit component, all the components and
yeah.
what the usage is, so
Tires
you
and
can
everything. Yeah,
see, yeah,
yeah,
everything,
everything. Yeah,
everything. So,
yeah.
um, but yeah, like I think that was pretty solid details right there to say like you may not see as much as we think because of sprint, but yes, there is totally a potential that you may see it, and especially if like one of the cars just Gasly, right? He's probably next to take a penalty at some point. If
Yeah,
he does crappy in qualifying, um, we'll see. Like, right?
yeah.
Like maybe
You
he
just never
just
know.
says
Yeah,
"F it," I'll take the penalty, or I don't know. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And I was just looking at some betting trends. Let's say
yeah.
I saw that the Red Bull and the Ferraris both were in the top four. Like the 4 drivers were in the qualifier. Then
Mhm.
I seen that Alpine was also there, but that was last year's Alpine. So don't count on that again.
Well, yeah.
You
Well,
never
I
know. I
don't
mean,
know.
you never
I'm
know.
going
You
to
never
tell you
know.
this. I tell you this. Like, I think they would be better suited here than Hungary.
Yes, you did mention that in Discord. I heard that. Yeah.
Yes. So, some don't just write them off just yet.
Yeah. The other one was Max to win and had the fastest lap last year here. He did that.
Hmm.
Red Bull had double podium here as well last year.
Yeah.
So and I think I seen, I don't know if it was Renegade or somebody already posted double podium for the Red Bulls here. So
Yeah.
I'm not
Let me
sure.
check.
I think it was
Yep.
him.
He
Yeah.
put it for the sprint.
Yep.
He has double podium sprint at even money.
Yeah.
So
So
it's if you want to get on that. I mean, that makes total sense.
yep.
Best car, uh, just mega on DRS, right? Um, but yeah, the Ferrari. So this is going to be interesting, right? Like, yes, we see the trend Red Bull and Ferrari. It will stay Red Bull, but Ferrari never had anyone challenging them really, other
Yep.
than Mercedes in the past last year, um, and of course the year before and whatnot. Now insert like McLaren. I'm very interested to see will McLaren's DRS keep up this year.
Yep.
In this situation, I hope so. I don't know. And then Aston Martin too. They talk. I think there was an upgrade coming this weekend.
They mentioned
You
that.
know,
Yeah.
is I think the reports were the upgrade that they had for Canada, which is kind of odd because Alonso did so well there. It's not working out as they expected.
I did see
So
that
I
too. Yep.
wonder what the change is or what's going to be for this weekend because it has to be boom or bust for them this weekend. Yeah, if they're going to bring some upgrade, it
Yep.
has to be like it's either going to work out or it's not.
Yeah. And
So
then there was with we're talking about Max and how can we like maximize betting him every week and stuff like that. I did see
mhm.
that the next record that he's going to break. I'm sure it's gonna happen. Again, I don't want to jinx him because I jinx everybody I talk to on the pod. But
Yeah.
he is the next record that he could break is the most consecutive wins in a row. He's currently at 7, and the record is 9 at the moment for Sebastian Vettel. So he needs 3 more wins to become the most wins
He'll
consecutive.
get it.
He probably will, but I just want to bring that, just as a FYI, just so you guys know.
Yeah, he'll
If
probably
he
get it,
didn't.
and yeah, we'll just be
Uh,
crying as Mercedes fans.
yep. So, all right. Well, I think that will conclude this one. Do you have anything else to add on? And anything else?
No, I just want to give a shout out to FanAmp. They've been spectacular at just keeping us updated on everything in their app. And again, if you haven't tried it out, it's a pretty cool app. It's got every type of community related to F1, especially if you're one that is like traveling to these locations. It's definitely the app to have for sure. But we are posting like our plays and picks on their underdog as well. We still have um, we're still throwing out the prize picks, underdogs, everything. But underdog is our partner. I want to throw out the shout out to them. And lastly, Grid Rivals. They are super, super awesome people.
Yes.
We got the fantasy league going. I think Renegade is like first. I don't know. We got a couple of our guys first in this one league.
Yeah.
Definitely awesome app, as well as like all the daily fantasy that they have. I want to give a shout out to them. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing that. I meant to do it earlier in the pod, and you reminded me. So thank you for doing that. Yes,
Hey,
we
I just picked it up for you. We
we
were on Ferrari strategy C. We went
yeah.
from A to C. So this
That's
was
right. That's right. Well, no, we appreciate everybody listening to the podcast. And like Capper said, look out for the Belgium betting preview, maybe Wednesday night or Thursday. Until next time, guys.